What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today wanted to talk about the big news that dropped just probably a couple minutes ago relating to Madden 22 franchise mode and the scouting update that we were all waiting for. Mid-September is what we told before the game launched, and people were getting worried, man. I was getting added on Twitter, and the most common thing outside of Philadelphia Eagles stuff was C4, when's the scouting update? You know, you got the in with EA. What's going on? I have not heard anything. This is the first that I had a little birdie in my ear kind of tell me about this and give me some slides so that I can prepare a video that goes in line when that blog goes live. But other than that, this is all brand new news to me. I'm reacting to it for the first time, and the fact that it is delayed till mid-October, I have a lot of content that is kind of hinging on this new scouting feature coming to franchise mode. The fact that it's delayed is frustrating. But, you know, I don't want to start this video off with outright negativity, outright positivity. I want to break down the slides, kind of look at what is in the scouting update, because so far it looks really good. It looks like exactly what we want in a scouting update. It looks like it could potentially rejuvenate franchise mode. But the delay is very disappointing. There's no other way around it. But as I've kind of said on Twitter and stuff like that, with the amount of bugs that are in franchise mode right now, do you really want this scouting update to drop on top of a build, at least a franchise mode that is crashing every other game, that has a lot of unoptimized menus, and there's a lot of other things in the way? So it feels like, for me, quick take before we break down what is coming in the scouting update, and then at the end, kind of my summary, is I would rather, you know, they say, all right, let's just say next week, next Tuesday was going to be the original scouting update. If they hit us with a franchise just bug patch next Tuesday, and then in, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, we get the scouting update, I think that's the order things need to happen. I would rather try to fix what's wrong and broken in franchise mode that's patchable right now, and then get the scouting update at a later date. So let's look at what is coming in franchise for this scouting update, and then we'll kind of tie it all together with my reaction and review and opinion on it at the end. All right, let's break it down here. So the overview of franchise scouting update, I got 4 bullet points that we kind of want to talk about. One is you're getting a full scouting department, which is cool. You're gonna get in-depth scouting reports from these departments that pretty much break down every single player, from their physical attributes to their traits. And as you continue to scout them, you find out their ratings. There's going to be news content that will move players up or down the big boards, impacting their draft stock, which is good. You know, the element right now, you think of franchise mode, you think of the draft classes within franchise mode, it's stagnant. Players are what they are. Nothing affects their draft stock. You just scout them and move them up and down your draft board based off of that. The fact that there's going to be stuff that's generated to move players up or down the draft board adds that sense of fluidity and realism that just doesn't currently exist in the draft class. And then they're also going to show you some mock drafts that kind of show you what teams around the league are interested in certain prospects, so that maybe you can kind of get a sense of your competition for the players in that draft class. Everything kind of starts for scouting in week 1 of the regular season. You get a region breakdown where it kind of shows the strengths and weaknesses of the certain draft class based upon each region. So you can kind of delegate and figure out where you can best send your scouts to find the positions that you need to improve upon in the draft. You're also going to be able to hire, fire, and reassign your scouts to whatever area on the map suits their strength. So if you have a scout that's really good at corners and you kind of mess up, you send them to the South region where the strength of that area is quarterbacks. You're going to be able to, at this time, like say the West region is really strong at corners, reassign that scout so you maximize his specialty to get the most and best information possible. There are 5 key stages to kind of consider and know about when you start your new scouting journey here in franchise mode. You have week 1, which is the final time that you can use to reassign your scouts to the different regions on your map, or just straight up hire and fire different scouts based upon, say the prospects that you need. If you absolutely don't need a quarterback, like say if you needed a quarterback, you would go all in on hiring as many quarterback scouts as possible so you could scout the entire country to find that QB. But then in year 2, you need defensive lineup. You could be able to fire some of those QB specialist scouts and bring in some guys that can help you find some defensive tackles and edge rushers. So week 1 is the final time that you can kind of send your scouts out on the big board. Week 2, you're going to be able to assign your region scouts to individual positions. Then in week 8, you can assign a national scout that can kind of overview the whole thing to figure out their individual positions. And then week 11, you can choose 3 players to focus on, where you unlock 30% of a player's profile. So by this point in week 11, you're going to clearly start to have your big board starting to settle up, and you're going to know which players you want to be able to just get that big bulk gain of information on them right away to be like, this guy looks like he's good, pretty sure he's good, let's confirm he's good and focus scout him here. And then you have finally in the stage 3 of free agency. That's like right near the end, right before the draft. You can choose 3 players to host a private workout for, where you unlock 40% of all of their draft information. So what really is this information you're going to be unlocking from these players? Well, they've kind of broken it down to a baseline for each player. So at 1% scouted for a player, you just get the baseline of their physical information for the prospect. At 10%, you start to get player notes, including traits, throw style, which is essentially like a scouting report. And this is an element of really just the draft process and the scouting process that was in older Maddens that a lot of people have been screaming at the top of their lungs to bring back into franchise mode. That is awesome. So from 10% on, every 10%, so at 20%, 30%, 40%, and so on, you get one attribute is revealed on the skill tab as a letter grade. So you're not going to get a base overall, you're not going to get a number grade, you're going to get a range. So that adds a little bit of the fog of war element to it. So I think that's also definitely going in the right direction. So then once you get your way up to 70% scouted on a player, you find out his archetype. So you can make sure he's a scheme fit, or maybe he's not a scheme fit and you're planning on changing schemes in the offseason. That will be very important information to you. And then at 100%, obviously, all of the player's attributes and true talent range will be revealed. So looking at all of those stills, all of the assets that they provided me, you really do see the Deuce Douglas inspiration, the Deuce Douglas implementation, right? The fact that, you now have, the scouting reports, that's pretty good. I'm going to be interested to see how that works. But you now have pro days, you have the combines, you have the added element of fog of war. There's way less spoon-fed information for your scouting. I think this, for me, in my opinion, it's everything we wanted in this scouting update. I think there's going to be people that maybe want it more, but those people aren't really realistic, because this is year one of this thing. If this works, they're going to be able to, Madden 23, add more features, add more immersion, add more depth to the scouting. I think for year one of a revamped scouting, this is as good as it could get. And you're clearly, you see with the pro days, stuff like that. Like, you look at any of Deuce Douglas's mock-ups for franchise mode, these stills look almost copy and paste, which is something you don't really want to say in regards to Madden. But for the good reason, it's copy and paste of what we wanted. But you can't look at all these features. All this looks good. The window dressing looks good. It's going to get you in the door. It's going to get you back into franchise mode. It's going to get these people that are already frustrated that this feature wasn't ready at launch to hop into franchise mode, right? And the fact that you have to restart your franchise, you're not going to be able to use this scouting update on an existing franchise. You've already kind of pissed off your user base with that. There's still, like myself, man, even with that, and now the delay, we're still going to be like, you know what? This is something that we really, really have been looking forward to in franchise mode for quite some time. I'm going to give you a chance. It can't be buggy. There might be a bug or two, but I'm fearful, cautiously optimistic. I don't know what would be the proper word to say. Because Madden 22 franchise at launch was like, all right, there's a lot of things in this, coaching staffs, all that stuff that we desperately wanted, right? And with all the bugs that we've incurred in franchise mode, it's like the ideas are what we want, the vision is what we want, the execution of it's not great. So this delay, mid-October, well, how about this? Late September, we fix franchise mode. Let's get all these patches. Let's fix the crashing. Let's fix all the glitches in the menus. Let's fix the fact that every time you log in, it says you have 40 staff points to spend, or however many staff points you got from your pre-order. Let's fix the fact that pretty much every offensive player dev trait goes through. Dev traits aren't properly calculating. How about we just acknowledge and maybe fix the fact that it seems like the old Madden 21 menus are running in the background? If you saw my Raiders rebuild, I just had John Gruden sitting at his desk. That is not in this year's game. So it's is that running in the background the entire time? Is that why the game's not optimized? That's why it's so sluggish and laggy in the menus? Is that why things are just glitching and bugging? How come every franchise, when I start the next preseason at that menu where it says Hall of Fame ceremony, my game crashes pretty hard every single time? So let's fix all of these in September before we even get in the month of October. Fall's coming. It's the best season of the year, right? No more swamp ass season. So let's, before the end of September, let's get that big franchise patch out so that when this now delayed scouting update that you're delaying, so it's not going to be as buggy as franchise mode was at launch for Madden 22, they can go in harmony. They can go in harmony, and we can get that franchise mode that we so very much deserve. That's kind of all I have for a take on it. I think the ideas and concepts that we have been provided here today, the information that we've been provided here today in regards to scouting looks very good. But so was a lot of the features that we got when we bought this game. And the execution has failed it, but it can get fixed with a patch. And hopefully with this scouting update, the execution does not fail it because of the delay, and it works right at launch. Because I think that this is absolutely, for someone like me that does rebuilds and does a lot of draft-focused, centric videos in at least regards to Madden, I'm excited for it. I think we all should be excited for it. But absolutely, yeah, you have the right to be disappointed. I still think this should have been ready at launch. Like, this is a massive feature. But, is what it is, man. Definitely want to hear what you guys think about it. I still just think closing thought on the delay, because that's probably like the big news that people are going to be taking from this is like, all right, well, we already expected that we should get stills and dev blogs and stuff about the scouting update, is the delay. And I just think let's just take franchise mode for what it is, and I think it's easily justifiable to be like, let's patch franchise mode before we throw anything else on top of it. So I think that all kind of goes hand in hand. But let me know what you guys think about the scouting update in general, regardless of the delay. Obviously, everyone's going to be upset about the delay. But what do you think about what we actually are going to be getting in terms of features and concepts? What do you think they should continue to add? Because obviously, if I see it in the comments, I might be able to shoot that up the stream to somebody. But that'll do it for me today, guys. Tomorrow will be a new Pink Slips episode, and I'll see you guys then. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up if you're excited for the scouting update. Don't hate the messenger for talking about the delay. Let me know in the comment section below what you are looking most forward to in the scouting update, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace out.